Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Here's a question for you. How low can we go? Did you know it's so cold outside? Not only can you see your breath, but you might be dealing with some patches of freezing fog in some spots that might be developing as we speak. Take a look at the lowest temperatures. There they are, 24. Does that show 24? It does. It happened 9 minutes before 5 a.m. Now, we're not at 24 now. Well, I guess we're closer to 26, but it was 24 just a few hours ago, less than a few hours, right? 4:51, according to the records at McGee-Tyson Airport. They keep great records, by the way. By the way, temperature has been as low as 21 in Jacksboro, La Follette. It's been as low as 25 around Newport, 22 in Crossville. That's some cold air. I'd say it's pretty cold, given the fact the normal low is 31. So if the normal low is 31, well, we're 7 degrees. We've been as low as 7 degrees below average. These are the current readings. So if you're out the door in the next few minutes, and I know many of you will be, it's in the upper teens for Jonesville right now, 23 in Newport, and these numbers will change, obviously, over the next couple of hours, but there's the opportunity that some of you might have reduced visibility. Not everywhere. It doesn't look as bad as it could have been, but with 26 degrees in Oak Ridge and Knoxville, clearly it would be freezing fog. And look at Oak Ridge. Their visibility dropped from 10 to 1. So that meant from 10 miles to 1 mile or less, there's some fog developing, and it may mean that you require a little bit of the extra windshield wiper fluid, applying that extra bug juice just to keep the glaze from getting on the windshield. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much. So please be extra careful this morning. Visibility not that great in Madisonville, Monroe County, either it's down to about a mile. And I suspect this, a little bit of fog, little hint of it will linger right through 8 a.m., 9 a.m. as well. May linger as late as 10 for some. Some of these clouds will be increasing, so we're just now beginning to see some of that fog develop in some spots. So please be extra careful this morning. By the way, it is now 6:42. I want to wish you a happy Wednesday. You reached the middle of the week. The Ultimate Doppler Radar presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa, the best express car wash and vacuum in East Tennessee. It's like getting 2 car washes for the price of one. I'd say that's pretty awesome. If you haven't been in one, I did a little video on it. It's really cool. I was impressed. But anyway, if you want to check them out, they're at places like Jefferson City. They're in Morristown. They're in Newport, Alcoa. They're all over. They keep expanding. I believe Clinton, Greenville, going to be adding some Tidal Wave Auto Spas near you. And you can check them out at tidalwaveautospa.com. Now, not seeing any rain or snow in the state, but that could change tonight as a southern slider brings in a few flakes for the Smokies and western North Carolina. But most of the snow right now seems like it's finding a home over the Great Lakes. And some of you say, well, that's just fine. Just keep it there. I'm on Team Spring, you might be thinking. Or I'm on Team Snow. Bring it here. So we're going to be watching what's going on over here, right? Let me bring out my telestrator because there's some rain in Louisiana right now. And most of this right here is going to be working its way in this direction, right? It's going to be pulling up into areas toward Richmond, Virginia, and all that moisture could just brush by the Smokies tonight. So be prepared for that opportunity because it will be playing a role in the tonight forecast, but not much before that. It'll be pretty quiet prior to that. So that's where we are as far as the national scene. Now, the moisture deficit, if you were concerned, because we covered a highlight or a recap of the 2023 calendar year last night and yesterday morning. I won't go through that again. But at least for the last 30 days, we're still a little bit drier, about a tenth or so around Knoxville. And we're going to get a super soaker, I think, heading into this Saturday. So Saturday we'll have some opportunities for some rain. But the moisture deficit grows to around 2 inches or more the further southwest of Nashville you travel. So if you were to put this in context, we've had more rain than our friends to the west, and much more rain than they've had in much of Mississippi, as you can see colored over here. I want to say good morning to you. How cold are you this morning? Do you have icicles coming from your teardrops? I hope not. I hope not. Anyway, I want to say hello to Kelly. She says, good morning, I need snow here. Kelly, we're going to talk about potential for snow. You might like what you see. You might like it even more if you have family in other states, because we're going to talk about some of the crazies like West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana. Over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be a wild ride. And we're going to participate in it. I fully suspect we will. Fred says, good morning, David, 26 in Maryville. Thank you, Fred, for that update. Love it. Dennis Hatcher's got 27 in Dandridge this morning. Good morning to Dennis. He's one of my premium members on Facebook. And Shannon Beth Cup Scott says, good morning from New Tazewell. She says it's cold and frosty here. I suspect it is. I suspect it is very frosty. And if you're on the YouTube channel, Steve Stone says good morning. He might be watching me on his big screen. Because, you know, I love the phone, but some of you like to watch it on the big screen. You have options. That's why I try to do the dual cast, right? Live stream on YouTube, Facebook. It makes it maybe a little easier for those who like the different platform. Now, as far as the deficit, not a big deal here locally over the last 30 days, but we are technically still under a moderate drought. Temperature right now, if you're just joining me here at 6:45, we're going to go till 7. I know I can take you to 7 if you want to keep watching. I'll keep feeding you some great information. It's 23 in Jacksboro right now. It's 27 in Morristown. Boy, that's cold. And technically, I use the word hard freeze. I guess it's Thursday night, Friday. We're down to about 23. We've already dropped to 24 today. Technically, you might argue the definition of a hard freeze is 28 or colder. You need at least 2 hours of 28 or colder. It's a hard freeze. But you know, psychologically, I still think the coldest morning this week will come in Thursday night, Friday. We'll be about the same. We'll be about 23 on, say, Friday morning. But we are currently at 26. It's 21 in Sevierville. And when you're this close to the low to mid-20s, you might say it's academic. It's so frosty cold. And we have some fog developing, which makes it even a little bit worse. Not much in the way of wind. Clearly, when you have zeros, there's no wind. It's calm. Well, how can you have a wind chill? You can't really have a wind chill. That's kind of like, you know, the necessary ingredient. But where there is a prevailing wind, it may feel like it's 17 in Sevierville. Ouch. And it might feel like it's 23 in Wartburg. It's all about perception. But these are not wind chills when you see a -4. That's how much colder it is now as compared to this time yesterday morning. Because yesterday morning at this time, we were still, well, I guess we were still a little milder. We were 4 degrees warmer and 12 degrees warmer yesterday compared to today. Because right now it's 12 degrees colder in Bell County, in Middlesboro, or Crater City, as they like to be known. By the way, 34 in Memphis. It's 28 in Chattanooga. These are your current readings. You're not going to escape the cold if you move southeast, west, or north, at least not this morning. But they are freezing in Atlanta, and it's 28 in Huntsville, Alabama at the moment. Charlotte's checking in at 30 degrees. Now, this morning, the brightest time of the day will be when the sun comes up, 7:34. But with increasing clouds, that hazy sun will fade quickly, and I don't expect precipitation per se, but if you're traveling through the Smokies tonight, you may see some flakes, and we'll highlight that with the Futurecast. But this is where things stand over the last 6 hours. Clouds are beginning to increase, but with enough clear sky last night, it allowed temperatures to drop pretty quickly. Where are the showers? Well, look southwest of Tupelo in Mississippi. You can see some green trying to form there. That's the moisture we were looking at in Louisiana as well. That's all sliding north and east. Today we're looking for a high of 46. I have some notes here. I'm expecting 46 in Oak Ridge, Morristown, Maryville, 44 Crossville, where Kelly is, 45 in Wartburg, 49 in Newport, and about a 44 high today in Oneida. If you're on the call, I want to say good morning to you. You made it to the middle of the week. We've had so many holidays. It seems like I'm waiting for another holiday this Monday, but I don't think there is one. Well, I guess it is. It is a holiday. It's Elvis's birthday. How could I be so silly to forget? I didn't forget. Anyway, next Monday, we went from Christmas, New Year's, to Elvis's birthday. It's like 3 weeks of joy and fun for some. All right, Steve's on YouTube. Let me know if you want to leave another comment. I'll give you a shout out. Felicia Moyer Sexton says, good morning, happy Wednesday, stay warm. And Melissa Sills, 2 cups, I love it, 2 cups of coffee. She's virtually sharing a cup of coffee with me, I think. But she says, admittedly, now, I'm not a fan of the cold without some snow. I like it. It's a package deal, right? You need some snow with the cold. And some people know, if it's going to be this, it's going to be that. I get it. It's coming. Wanda says it's 21 here in Newport. Let it snow. I'm on Team Snow. And Darcy Burr, that's a meteorological term, Burr. And she says it's 23 good morning degrees here. So glad to have you all here. Keeping track of the temperatures this afternoon. Not going to get much higher than 46. And I did have my notes here. All right, so yesterday we hit 47, as expected. Ta-da! And we started the day at 28. So we already checked. We were 24 this morning. We're 4 degrees colder this morning than we were yesterday morning. And, oh, you'll love this. The record high today was last year. What? Last year, 2023, on the 3rd of January. Do you know how warm we were? And you said, well, I remember it was like 4 degrees before Christmas. It was. But we went from 4 to 75. So the record high for this date is 75 degrees from 2023, right? Well, it's the pendulum. It's the swing. It's high tide, low tide. How come the ocean doesn't stay still? Because the ocean and the water vapor in the atmosphere, very similar. they don't stay still. They're constantly looking for balance, and they'll never find it. And by the way, the record low, negative 14, 147 years ago in 1877. So if you're a record keeper, negative 14, record low today, we're not anywhere near zero. But it's somewhat cold, if you want to say burr, when it's in the mid-20s for many. Temperatures today hit 46 for Sevierville. That's my expectation. Newport, about 49. All right, 6:50. I'm convinced I can name this tune. Been watching that show. Name this tune in 10 minutes. I can do that. I can finish this little live stream in 10 minutes. So hang with me, 7:46. Sun up, sun sets, 5:34. Frosty cold. The emoji, I think, best describes it. If you're not a fan, or whatever team you happen to root for, Team Snow, Team Spring, it's going to be a frosty windshield for many, heading out the door with some fog. Here's the 3rd. There it is on the left, January 3rd, with clouds increasing today. Got a big old red pickup truck in the drive. Well, I don't, but some of you might. 33 at 10, 45 at 2, expecting that high temperature mention of 46 degrees. Let's get to the nuts and bolts. If you're just joining me, clouds increase today. Mountain flakes develop tonight and into Thursday morning for the Smokies. And then it turns pretty soggy on Saturday. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Oh, is there going to be rain? Yes, mainly. But it's likely to, again, change to a snow mix for our western and eastern neighbors. But the amount of rain that we could pick up just through 5 o'clock Saturday would be anywhere from a ½ inch to as much as an inch. I think closer to 3/4 seems to be the trend. And that's how much rain we can expect. So are you telling me Saturday is going to be like a washout? It depends on your definition of a washout, right? It's going to be gray, and it's going to be leaking, and it's going to be periodic. So it's throughout the day. So your Saturday, while mainly rain, might start off as a little mix and change over, but it's likely to change over in the areas in the plateau and the Smokies, right? Naturally colder there, comes up from the south and west. It's a mainly liquid event. This is kind of a ho-hum event for Knoxville. But usually, when it's a lot colder, which it will be in the days and weeks ahead, we're going to have more opportunities for some snow. But at least this go-around, it's going to be warm enough for some rain. Let me show you the future cast, because of this cold air at 5,000 feet usually is the canary in the coal mine as far as when the bitter cold can arrive. You can see some red arrows through the 5th. We will be warming back up into the 50s by Elvis's birthday, and then maybe pushing upper 50s on Tuesday with all that warmth. But then it gets colder. As we head into, if not on the 8th and 9th, there's Elvis's birth, a little bit of warmth, but then it just locks and reloads. Watch the purple in Rapid City and Calgary. That usually represents single-digit wind chills and teens and 20s, and some of that cold air will be wrapping around. We could get a nice little southern slider like that. That would be picture perfect for our friends on Team Snow. So don't think this cold air is going away anywhere fast. Look at that, that's the 19th, and we're going to go right into February like this. It's going to be like this pattern. He's going to be like, make it stop. I can't. I'm just the messenger. Just the messenger. Here at 6:53, I want to check in with your comments some more as I'm going to get to the snow. If you've got a comment, let me know. I'm looking over here on my shoulder. Mike and Donna says they have 23 degrees in Oakdale. Thank you for that update, Mike and Donna. That was nice to have you in there on the comment. And if you're on YouTube, I said I'd give you a shout out. Steve Stone's the only one on here. You got to give me another comment. I'll leave. Steve Stone got the smiley face, but if you're on YouTube, we'd love to see you over here as well. All right, so here's the future cast. What about the potential for snow? I like to show this to my premium members on a regular basis simply because it gives them some insider baseball information. It's not necessarily a forecast. It's definitely not a forecast. But it gives you some indications of what the data is suggesting. Now, even if it's half right, you'll notice that the heavy snows are all around the surrounding states. Look at West Virginia, for example, where you see pink over the next couple of weeks. You could be looking at measure in feet, right? Looks like a lot of snow there. Almost 25 inches near St. Louis. Are you kidding me? Over the next couple of weeks? That's how the data would suggest, right? This is just raw data, but it suggests some heavy snows. And we get maybe a couple of inches potentially. But there's still a lot yet to be determined, because these tracks, they change with just a little bit of change in the temperature. Because the consensus was we would get maybe 27, 26 this morning. We fell to 24. So if you can be off a couple of degrees, there's a big difference between 34 and a 32-degree snow. It's a little less wet. You get more compaction. You get a different type of forecast as the temperatures can vary. Temperature track and timing, really the key ingredients this winter. 26 is our current temperature. We don't have a wind, so hence we don't have a wind chill. It is 6:54. Here's my valley planner for the next 12 hours. With increasing clouds, expect temperatures by noon about 42. And if you have some errands to run, maybe you're headed to the store, maybe you're headed to the pharmacy, wherever you might be going. Maybe you're going to school. I know school heads back pretty soon, right, for Knox County, but I will say this. Highs around 46. The normal high is 48. So we're still going to be about a couple of degrees below average. That Saturday looks pretty soggy, as does Tuesday to me at this point. But we'll revisit Tuesday next week because it will likely drop in temperature quite a bit with the passage of a cold front. No severe thunderstorms expected today, but there will be some areas in the deep south, Louisiana, parts of Mississippi, even Florida, later this week. But this is what it looks like today. So anywhere you see a light green like Vegas, maybe Los Angeles, they have the general thunderstorms. There could be some thunderstorms today in Tampa, in Destin, as well as New Orleans, but nothing going on here in terms of any thunderstorms. But the possibility for tomorrow includes probably areas just southwest of Houston and maybe over toward Lubbock for possible thunderstorm activity on Thursday if you're traveling. But here's where the colors kind of change a bit, because Friday you've got some darker green areas like Louisiana. That would include Destin, Panama City, New Orleans, as well as maybe areas into the Panhandle there in Florida. So those areas might get an isolated severe storm. Watching that very closely. I got a couple of notes from YouTube. They came in. I do see them. Steve says, let's go Team YouTube. Felicia, Crafty Adventures. She writes, Happy Wednesday. Team Spring and Want to Garden. Have a great day. My friend Felicia, she's sweet. She tells me that she is hoping that she can get into the garden. With this type of weather, in the 20s, it might just be wishful thinking, but I know that eventually spring will come back, just not in the short term. But meanwhile, the severe weather risk for Friday here is non-existent. All right, here it is, 6:56. Let me show you how at least this particular illustration depicts this southern system, because we got some rain in Mississippi now, and it's likely to slide across the Smokies. Now, a lot of what may show up in Knoxville may just dry up before it reaches the ground. That's my anticipation, because some of this moisture, like here, 11 o'clock in the morning, I think might be what we call virga. It's the moisture that evaporates, right, before it reaches the ground. But it will be just enough at 12 noon there, and probably a lot faster than for my taste. 5 o'clock, it might be starting to fill in into places like Bryson City or Asheville or in the central parts of the Carolinas. That's where and it kind of brushes by. So it's a nothing burger for 99% of us, unless you happen to be traveling in North Carolina. And I suspect that by 11 o'clock tonight, it could be snowing in the Smokies, but I would leave it at just about a 20% chance. It's not all that high, all things considered. But as this system moves away, there'll be some flurries perhaps in Huntington, Charleston, maybe into Pike County, Kentucky. There's a few flakes there tomorrow afternoon, but that might be a stray flake for our part of southeast Kentucky tomorrow. Just not a big deal. Lots of sunshine returns on Friday, more high clouds, I should say. And then we start this rainmaker coming in, not Friday, but really coming in Friday night into Saturday. This will fill in like so. So it's going to be messy. And when you say messy, what do you mean? I mean mainly rain. I mean, you need a color coding for this, because this is a mess, right? You got a low here. You got rain, warm enough for rain in Knoxville, but it's changing over to a wintry mix in places like Jamestown, maybe even Jellicoe, or certainly Barberville. And then you head over toward the mountains of North Carolina. It's a mess here too. So southern systems in winter is really how Knoxville can participate in winter, in the snow, the good snows, I say in quotation marks, because if you're not a fan of snow, there are no good snows. But a good snow, obviously snowing pretty hard in this illustration at 7 o'clock Saturday in places like Louisville, Lexington. Lexington could get their biggest snow of the season so far, and that would include Huntington and possibly Cincinnati. So if you have family there, their forecast will be dramatically different, and that's why I encourage you to download the Captain Accurate Weather app, because traveling on Saturday will be a run of the dice, a roll of the dice, depending on how far away you go, because it's colder north and west. All right, here's the futurecast. We're going from the 20s to the 30 mark by about 9:30. Some patches of fog. Again, most of this I think is virga. That's the moisture that evaporates, so we can dismiss much of the green that you see here at 3:30. But I do think we're up to about 46. And I want to highlight the fact that these types of models do very poorly. They do not handle southern systems at all very well. Their timing's off because it's kind of like your car has a blind spot. I don't know if they meant to have it there, but it's there. You know what I mean? You just have to understand that that's just not one of their strengths. They're used to systems coming in from the west and northwest. But even still, there's still a possibility of some flakes. You can see there are the flakes. There's blue What time is that? It's 10:15 tonight. So that's why I left a 20% chance that some of those in the Smokies, like your Clingman's Dome and your Mount LeConte, may pick up a dusting of snow, and then it's on its merry way. Might last a half hour to an hour, not much more than that. But meanwhile, tomorrow morning, we're going to see some sunshine develop, and we'll find temperatures finishing on Thursday, generally in the mid-40s as well. So that's where I expect to be. All right, 7 o'clock, as indicated or promised. I'll do my best to promise to finish here the forecast at 7. Here, increasing clouds today. It's still cool. And while there's 0 wind now, the winds will pick up today, southwest, 5 to 10 in the afternoon. Looking at today, 45 Wartburg, 46 Morristown, and a high in Oak Ridge, Clinton, Knoxville, and Fountain City, about 46 degrees. Traveling today, they're not much warmer in Atlanta, 47 there, 51 Charlotte, 45 Nashville. Tonight, I've got mountain flakes. Oh, you like that? You put one little flake there. Yeah, if I made it actively snowing, you would have a higher expectation. But this is confined to the higher elevations. 30 degrees low temperature tonight. Some of you will make it to the upper 20s, but you won't be there long with mostly cloudy skies and may thin out a little bit in cloud cover overnight. 28, though, for Oak Ridge is my expectation. 29 Morristown, looking for lows in Crossville, about 25 to start the morning on Thursday in Cumberland County. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast. 701, 46 for Thursday. There's some stray flakes. Those stray flakes Thursday are mainly for southeast Kentucky, maybe up toward Harlan County, Bell County. But sunshine, high clouds Friday, 48. A real messy day on Saturday. Not so much for Knoxville or Oak Ridge or Morristown, but if you're in Jamestown, if you're in Williamsburg, you really need to pay close attention to that Saturday forecast because you might get more of the snow mix. That could include a little bit of sleet, freezing rain, the whole 9 yards for you because it will be sharply colder there. 48 on Sunday, some rain showers, maybe a few mountain flakes for Sunday. But then that Saturday, Monday, 54, that's Elvis's birthday, and 58 on Tuesday. So you're saying there's a chance we could get up to near 60 on Tuesday. True, true. But I purposely put the arrow there because with that passage in the front, it's a head fake because it will end as snow, right? How can it go from 58 and snow? Because the temperatures will drop like a rock. They will plummet, like that word, it'll plummet by Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So when I do Wednesday's forecast, be on the lookout for more flakes in your future because Team Snow, I think they're chewing at the bit. They've been patient. You realize the last measurable snow, not the trace, I'm talking about the measurable snow, was the day after Christmas of 2022, not 2023. That was a long time ago. So I think we're overdue. You'd have to admit, even if you don't like snow, you have to admit we're a little bit overdue. By the way, if you are curious, you want to see my snow forecast, you know you have the opportunity to be the first. You have the opportunity to be the first to see my snow forecast, not only this week and next, but all winter long by simply joining me on the Captain Accurate Premium service. It's very easy now. I have a subscribe button on the top of the Facebook post, but if you go to CaptainAccurate.com, it'll link you up to this URL, right? This web page, Facebook.com/become-supporter/Aldrich Weather. You can sign up. It's very easy to do. It's just 16 stars a day. Oh, that's easy. That's just 16 cents. That's right. 16 cents a day works out to about $4.99 a month. About the price of a cup of coffee. You're also getting 2 streams of information on the same Facebook page if you join, and you can cancel at any time. You also are privy to my 15-minute video, my winter weather outlook for this year, and go into great detail of how it was put together, as my premium members may have watched it more than once. It's there. It's in our subscriber group. You could check it out if you become a subscriber. But I want to say thank you, too, for your time today. It is 7:03. It went a little bit long, but there's some extra things to promote the premium service because I have members who've been with me for more than a year now. I'm very thankful for my premium members. By the way, Steve's on here on YouTube, as is Felicia. I got Alice. She has good morning. Looking forward to spring. She's already skipping over this season. You notice that? I noticed that, Alice. You're very slick. Hoping for a little to no snow in my area. And Glen Mary, thank you, Alice. Well, we love having you here. And Felicia saying, teachers go back today and students back for tomorrow. Thank you, Felicia, for that reminder. And Irish Marion saying she's got 39 degrees in Jacksonville, Florida. We've got some Floridians watching today. Glad to have you all. And Tyler is saying good morning from Tellico Plains. Glad to have you all here as well. Leave me a comment if you have a question. I do periodically check throughout the day what you might be thinking or needing to know. I'll do my best to answer it. My name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.